Vice President Tate,
Present.
Board Clerk Sheridan,
Present.
Trustee Aguilar,
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Present.
Trustee Pearl,
Present.
Trustee Pearl is en route. Student Board Member Trustee Proctor,
Present.
all board members present.
Thank you, Ms. Mayfield. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Tate. Next, can we get approval of the agenda?
I'll second.
Moved by Trustee Sheridan, seconded by Trustee Aguilar. All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 7-1. Thank you. Legal statement. Members of the audience who wish to address the board are asked to complete the yellow card available at the entrance and submit it to the board's executive assistant. Speakers who have completed the card will be called when the items reach on the agenda or for non-agenda items during the public testimony. Cards are to be turned in before the item is reached on the agenda. Please note that the meeting is being recorded. State law prohibits the Board of Education from taking any action on or discussing items that are not on the posted agenda, except to A, briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by the public in attendance, B, ask questions for clarification, C, provide a reference to a staff member or other resource for factual information in response to the inquiry, or D, ask a staff member to report back on the matter at the next meeting and or put it on a future agenda. Government Code 54954.2A. There are no yellow cards. All right, next we're going to start with the presentations. However, just a point of order, we're going to reserve our comments to the end of all the presentation. Ms. Moss, if you'll start us out.
Good evening, school board trustees, Dr. McLaughlin, SOU State Cabinet, and our beautiful guests. My name is Keziah Moss, and I am your Director of Community and Employee Engagement for San Leandro Unified. And thank you very much. And this is one of my favorite nights of the year. And this one is especially special because we are finally back in person doing this. We have not done this since pre-pandemic, the very beginning of 2020. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to celebrate some of our schools tonight. And tonight we'll be looking to the East Side schools. So we'll be hearing from Bancroft Middle School. We'll be hearing from Jefferson Elementary. We'll be hearing from McKinley Elementary. Then we'll be hearing from Roosevelt and Washington Elementary. So I'm really excited for you to see these presentations. I do know that the schools and the principals and their staff have done a lot of work. So with that, let's get right to it. I'm going to invite up Bancroft Middle School with the principal, Shannon Lane. Please give her a round of applause.
Thank you for having us this evening. We are excited to talk about Bancroft. My name is Shannon Lane. I do have vice principals who are here also to help me out to introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Mark Dieter, Vice Principal at Bancroft.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Padilla. I'm also one of the vice principals at Bancroft.
Thank you. Thank you. And tonight we are here to talk about joy. Joy has been a theme that I have in my life. I try to wake up every day and say, what is going to be my joy of the day? And so we made that into our presentation tonight with the theme of joy at Bancroft. All 5 goals will bring us joy. So the first goal tonight is finding joy through instruction. The first one is Miss Martinez. She's one of our math teachers. She is doing a flipped classroom, and so we'll hear from her through video.
My name is Marina Martinez, and I am a math teacher at Bancroft Middle School. I teach 7th grade math. I'm here today to talk to you about Flip Classroom. I've always wanted to implement Flip Classroom in my room. However, COVID sort of pushed me to start that implementation and work on that process. And so how does it work? All the materials can be accessed via Schoology. I myself upload the individual lessons from Eureka Math into my iPad, record the lesson, and then I upload it to YouTube so that students have access to it. I assign this as their homework, and when they come to class, they come prepared with questions. We review the notes very quickly, and then get started on the practice problems. On this screen, you'll see how it shows up in Schoology, and it's just a little snapshot of the YouTube video that pops up. Some of the benefits are that students can watch at their own pace, right? They control how they watch, slow it down, speed it up, pause it, write the notes down, watch the video, go back and watch it again and write the notes the second time. Whatever works best for them, taking some ownership over their own learning. Students have access to all the materials even when they're absent, and the parents don't have to struggle on how to do the problems with their child at home. And it really does allow the students extra process time as well. Some of the cons, it does take some time to adjust. Recordings do take time to start off, but you can reuse them going forward. Some students don't complete their homework, and you'll see in the pictures to follow that some of them are either doing it to get ahead or some of them are trying to catch up in the classroom. And the class engagement does take a little while for that to happen. And then I just wanted to share some images here of students watching and they're following along in their books as we review the notes that they should have done for homework. And then here's a student she's actually watching the video because she's done all her practice and she's getting a head start on the coming homework for that night. Here are some students that are sort of clustered around each other and they're working to complete their practice in class. And then I also provide both paper and computer copy for students so that they can do what feels more comfortable for them. So here we have two students that are working together, and one's completing on their Chromebook and the other is completing it on paper. Thank you for watching. Hope you
And so I appreciated that she's trying that effort. And again, the benefit is that one of the things over COVID is that parents didn't know how to do math with their kids. And so this allows the teacher to really work with the student still. And if the parent wants to join in, they can, but they're no longer like required to do so, right? So it puts math back in the hands of math teachers and students. If we're taking a look at what other things are happening, just a couple more slides, we do have students who are finding joy in classrooms all over the place, right? This is orchestra. Getting ready for their concert. We did have a couple of concerts for orchestra. And then we do have science classes. They're doing Ruby Goldberg. Again, that's pretty rad, right? They're taking marbles and making different things happen, right? They're building all sorts of things like Mousetrap back in the day. And so this is an example of what our students were doing in science. And if we take a look at the next goal, this one's finding joy through connection. And so we do have a handful of ways, obviously, that we're trying to find joy through connection with our students. And one of those is we did have a tragedy happen at Bancroft this year. And so as a result, we really came around our students. And one of those ways is the bunny connection. So we were supported by district in this adventure, and it was really strong. Our students really enjoyed it. And our counselors and our staff, everybody enjoyed the bunnies. And so we are going to have the bunnies back. Animal therapy was amazing. And so we will be bringing bunnies back. We also had a day of fun and words of kindness. So we do lots of things at lunchtime for our students. You're going to hear from our peer advocates and how they support. But our school came together as a whole, leadership, peer advocacy, they came together and we put together a day of fun for our students before we went to Thanksgiving break. And then we also have words of kindness. They were everywhere on the cement. We had posters up on walls. And so our students were able to hopefully feel the connection with one another in such a way. We also had Jakara Winchester. She's a former Bancroft student and an Olympian. And so she came and did a presentation with our students. It was one of the first non-academic assemblies that we had this year in order for our students to be able to connect with one another. They actually got to do a little bit of wrestling with an Olympian, and they got to learn how to work with each other to move forward kind of in a same space. We did those by grade level. And we have our peer advocates class. Last year, I understand they got to come and talk to the board and the community about in the start of the program. And this year, our peer advocates with Miss Slayton, they'll come and introduce themselves. So they are going to talk to you about what they're up to this year.
Hello, everybody. My name is Braylon.
My name is Aliana. My name is Mariana. My name is Natalia.
My name is Isaac.
And my name's Yara, and we're the 8th grade peer advocates. The peer advocates program is an elective that lasts for 1 year, and we learn development and communication skills. So we have positive interactions with other students to help them feel safe and heard. We provide a safe space for students to open up, share their thoughts and feelings, and we figure out ways that we can best support and educate students on campus. We pull together students and help them communicate better with each other. After a lot of training, we began doing sessions in October. Since then, we had 49 official sessions where we met with the consulate and helped them work through their problems. Our training has allowed us to step in when we notice someone who needs our help. This could be as simple as helping a lost 6th grader find their class or open their locker, or inviting someone to eat with us who was sitting alone at lunch. We helped stop fights, supported friends and classmates throughout difficult situations, given lots of compliments and to boost people's confidence and much, much more. We understand how important these things are and how much better is making our campus. We try to do kind things every day and help them.
I've been a peer advocate for the past 2 years. What I love about this program is being able to talk to and meet people. I've learned about positive body language, how to ask open-ended questions, and how to deeply understand people. It's amazing to know that if anyone I ever know needs help, I can always be there for them.
I've had 2 official sessions this year in total. My very first session was back in November. A student has reached out because we have tragically lost one of our own. It was a really sad time for all of us, and I'm so happy that I was able to support her through these hard times. Not only was she being supported by me, but I was also being supported by my classmates. My most recent session was with a girl on the volleyball team. The coach had told Miss Slayton that she was being really hard on herself, and since I'm also on the volleyball team, she thought I would be the perfect person for this session. In the session, we talked about how with stress of sport, we don't have to be so hard on ourselves, and when we do get hard on ourselves, we talked about ways to calm down. I've made it a point to check on both of these students, and whenever they see me in the hallways, they always greet me with a smile.
I had a student on campus request a peer advocate because she said she wasn't feeling safe at home. I pulled her from class and we talked for a long time. It turns out that she had a very younger brother who kept hitting her. And she said her mom wasn't doing anything. We talked through it, and I told her that no one should feel unsafe at home. After the session, I told Miss Slayton because it was a duty to inform. She told me to go back and to encourage my counselor to go speak to a counselor. She agreed. At this point, I knew things went really well. Since then, I've checked up on my counselor, and she's been doing great. I've even noticed that she goes out of her way to say hello to me.
We love the Peer Advocates program and hope that it stays forever. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Oh, we died.
So just as we work to build joy with our students, we also work to build joy amongst the adults on our campus, among staff, and that's through finding joy through collaboration. So in the morning, these are the beautiful staff members who you will see greeting families in the front of the campus and directing traffic at our new parking lot, sometimes with music, but always with a smile. And these are people who keep our campus safe and also joyful.
For the past 3 years, we've been working with our staff to build a culture that focuses on racial justice. And this year we have the help of a consulting group with Genji and Blaze Consulting. And this is where we work together as a staff to build a culture that's reflective and reflective on the hard work to meet the needs of our most historically underserved populations. The winter time and the holidays are often a time for joy, but they can also be very difficult for families. And our staff comes together to create charitable donations for our community. And this is something that's spearheaded by one of our teachers and our office staff. But everybody participates and is able to support some of our families who are in most need and bring joy during a time that can be very difficult. And we also have some pictures of fun. These are our PE teachers who are notorious for their collaboration, and they work together on lessons, to build the lessons, to improve the lessons, and to deliver the lessons. So here you see some of our PE teachers modeling some stretches and some activities for their students that they were doing with their whole groups, their whole classes in our gym.
Thank you both. And we also find joy through working with our community. And so one of the first events that we had on campus this year was with our English learner community. Families came on campus, we shared some food together, and we celebrated the hard work of students who were able to be reclassified, who had made progress towards reclassification, and who are otherwise working hard in their ELD classes. We recently got to build some joy with our community with a dance, and the students had a lot of fun. There were also PTA members that helped support our student community. I think the parents had a lot of fun as well. And then we have some pop-up events that have been organized on our campus by one of our parent facilitators, Joanna Garcia. And the proceeds that come from these pop-up events go back to the community in the Winter Wishes program that Ms. Padilla mentioned just a moment ago. And then, of course, the PTA also celebrates the teachers and their hard work by sometimes bringing in food as a token of thanks to the staff. We really appreciate that. And then we're finding a lot of joy in the new facilities that we now have on our campus. They're quite beautiful. Here's our entranceway, which was just completed. So the front of the school looks fabulous. There's new landscaping, new paint, and this great new marquee in the front of the school. We also have a new building that was built to replace some portables. There's 4 new classrooms and bathrooms that are accessible to students, handicapped accessible, and gender accessible. And we have these great classrooms with new furniture that are really well planned out. We have the new parking lot and a drive-through structure that allows students to be dropped off onto campus in a safer and more convenient way than they were in the past, and the community has been appreciating that. And we have this fabulous new athletic area, a great turf field, a nice track for the students to be on during their PE classes. And it's just a beautiful place to be and spend time at lunch, seeing all the kids having such a great time out there. And then in between that new building and that new field are some nice landscaping and some areas that students can just sit and relax and enjoy nature when they have a break at lunch or break time.
Thank you. So now you can see that we have a lot of joy with our community, with our students, with our teachers. And now we want to make sure that we recognize the joy of our volunteers. So we have 2 volunteers that we are going to recognize this evening. And the first one is Miss Leslie Bikert. She is part of PTA and she's been doing that for some time. She is the proud mother of twins, Olive and Violet. And you can see that she holds a role on the board of PTA, that she helps us with many different events at PTA. She comes in and supports us through dance. So far this year, I think I've seen her at a concert. I've seen her at the dance. I've seen her at every PTA meeting. And I do know that she is everywhere. She's dropping up food, picking up stuff. So we do know that she's been an active supporter of our school. And so we wanted to recognize Ms. Leslie. So we'll have you come up in just 1 second.
And the other parent we would like to recognize tonight is Adriana Fuentes. Just extremely grateful for her active participation in our ELAC, in our DLAC, and asking really great questions and really building a conversation that involves parents, that puts parents' needs at the center of these conversations in these meetings, particularly our English language learners, and inviting other parents and getting other parents involved too. She also comes to our campus during the day to help facilitate games at lunch, and attends the coffee and conversation, again, to really bring forth the questions that our families of English learners, to be a voice for our community of English learners. So thank you, Adriana. And I want to invite now Adriana and Leslie, I'm going to say your last name, but it's not there, to come up to the stage to be honored in person, not just by your beautiful photos.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Push together. Get our volunteers right up front. Leslie and Adriana up front. Yes, absolutely. One, two, three. Thank you.
That's right. Give it up for the Bancroft Broncos. That was amazing. Thank you so much, all of you. I'm exhausted thinking of all the work that goes into all those different programs. So you're also noticing the theme that our principals will be going over this evening is they're really focusing on our strategic plan, our district strategic plan, which has 5 goals. So you'll be hearing, you start to notice how that is landing for all of our family, students, and staff at our schools. So with that, we're going to talk to some Jaguars now from Jefferson Elementary School. This is Natalie Valencia, who is their new principal.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm really excited to talk to all of you today about all the great work that happens at Jefferson. Shout out to my Jaguars who are out here right now. We're here to celebrate our Jaguars. So I'm going to talk to you about all the components that make the Jefferson machine roar. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit about our theme for tonight is teamwork makes the dream work. So I'm going to tell you all about the amazing things that come together and happen at our school to make our Jaguars roar. So I'm going to start with our intervention program. It's one of the pieces that we're really proud of and that we've been working hard at this year. We have interventions happening both in school during the school day as well as after school. So I'll talk a little bit about each one. These are our wonderful intervention specialists. On the left, Ms. Park, and on the right, Mr. Garnica. Our school is one of the schools that houses a dual language immersion program in Spanish. We have a thread along with the strictly English classrooms. And so Ms. Park is our intervention specialist who works with our students in the strictly English instructional thread. And then Mr. Garnica is working with our students in the dual language immersion program. So they're providing support in literacy as well as Spanish language development when they're working with our kids. Also, we have two great paraprofessionals at our sites who are also part of our intervention team who also work with our students. They're providing push-in as well as pull-out support for our English language learners, and then as well as literacy development for our students. After school, we have our Jaguar Academy for our students in 1st through 3rd grade. So here you see two of our teachers who are working with our Jaguars after school. So again, one of the things we've really been working on this year is that intervention and aligning our intervention process and working with our materials in Fontes and Pennell and providing some consistency across reading strategies in assisting our Jaguars to progress in literacy. So our teachers work with them in small groups after school. They're looking at data through their assessments and determining which students need to be pulled and stay after school for some additional support. We are also really excited because this year we've been able to partner with Elevo, who has come in to provide some in-school release time for our teachers. And so part of that, what's really nice about that has been that we have coaches land at our sites, they work with our kids, they're playing games with them outside, and that allows our teachers to have some collaboration time during the school day. And so here you can see our intervention specialists are providing professional development in-house to our teachers during the school day. And this is, again, aligning with our intervention process. And so working on our data collection and how we're collecting data more frequently through our literacy program so that we continue to provide and target supports for students individually. Okay, so next we're going to talk about our students and the amazing work that our students do as part of this Jaguar machine. So in a few minutes, I'm going to introduce two of our Jaguars who are here with us tonight. One of the things that's really amazing about our school is how dedicated we are to being change makers and developing Jaguars who are advocates for change. And so one of these examples is our Peacemaker program. We partner with Soul Shop, and Soul Shop has helped us develop this program. Two of our teachers, our amazing lead teachers, Miss Ann and Miss Dos Santos, are here with us today as well. They are the lead teachers that have helped us continue this program with our students. In this program, our students learn conflict resolution skills, and they are peer advocates to their to other Jaguars. So we see them at recess and lunch recess as well, working with students when there's conflicts out on the playground. Look for those bright yellow vests. There is a peacemaker somewhere around who's going to help you solve that problem when those kinds of conflicts arise. And so I'm happy to introduce Hannah and Kenzo, two of our Jaguars. They are peacemakers, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about their experience as peacemaker leaders at our school.
Hello, my name is Hannah, and this is how I became a peacemaker. My class chose me and said things such as how I am a leader, a problem solver, and other important things. After that, I went through training. The training helped me to solve problems and to teach others how to solve problems as well. This training was for one day, and some parts were difficult to understand, but in the end, I became more of a leader and a teacher to younger kids. This training also helps other kids to learn, so when they become older, they might become a very good leader. There are also things called a peace path and peace warrior. These tools help solve problems and help the kids express their feelings. The peace warrior is for small problems that can be solved, but if the problem is too big for us to solve, then we have to give it to the yard duties. We help solve problems emotionally and physically. I think helping people solve problems is amazing, but we can also play with the kids if they are lonely. If they look lonely or sad, we can introduce ourselves. This is my experience in training and as a peacemaker.
Hello, my name is Kenzo, and I will be presenting on my experience as a peacemaker. My job is to keep the playground safe and and free of problems. The main way to solve the problem is the peace path. It talks about their feelings and what the other person could do to make it right. They always end with a handshake or a fist bump to forgive and leave the past behind. I like how the kids respect me and make me feel important. I can see that the kids trust me a lot to solve their problems. The thing I am most grateful for is that peacemaking at school is easier than giving orders to my little brother. By being a peacemaker, I learned how to solve problems and understand how the kids feel. One time I was on duty and I saw a boy with his head down and he looked sad. I asked him if he wanted to play catch and he said yes. I spent most of my duty playing with him. Being a peacemaker has prepared me for middle school a lot. Now that I have done a lot of scenarios, I think that solving problems like two kids arguing and hitting each other and using our peacemaker language, stop. We don't do that at our school. It's way easier than just telling them to get along. I have been a peacemaker for 9 months and I think I still have struggles, but I can always fix the problems like I fix problems at school.
Well done. Thank you, Hannah and Kenzo, and thank you, Miss Ann and Miss Dos Santos, who are here also. They are our coaches and our Peacemaker lead teachers supporting our kiddos through this program. And staying on this theme about our Jaguars as change makers, we are also, so to the left, you're going to see some of our students working on a project-based learning project that they put together. Miss Ann is one of the teachers who was also part of this project. One of the things that's really great is that we partner with the San Leandro Education Fund as well, and they provide mini grants to our teachers for PBLs or project-based learning opportunities. And so two of our teachers, their students are pictured here on the left, took that mini grant and they created a project-based learning or PBL around the unhoused community. And so these are second graders and then fourth and fifth graders who came together to do some research on local and also national unhoused communities. They learned about the importance of giving back to the community. They learned about having empathy for the unhoused, and they also learned about what they can do to make a difference. And so as part of their project, they created supply bags for our unhoused community, as well as letters that they gave to them, all about coming together and providing that support that people in need can get from others. To the right, we are excited because this is the first ever picture of the Jefferson Student Council. So this is the first year that Jefferson has had a student council. We're very excited by that. This all came about from one of our students who came to me at the beginning of the year and said, I think we need to do more stuff that's fun for kids. And she started to give me just ideas she had. And I said, I think what you want is a student council. And we talked about that. She wrote a proposal. She came up with ideas for what she wanted to see. And then we found her teachers to be sponsors. And so here they are, our first student council in their meeting, coming together and really creating what the student council can be at Jefferson, laying the foundation for that. So we're really excited to have our first student council at school. Next part of our Jefferson machine is our parent committees, without which we would not be able to accomplish a lot of the things that we accomplish. So here is our English Learner Advisory Committee, or ELAC. At our last ELAC meeting, we had an amazing turnout of our parents who came in. We shared foods. We talked about how to support our English learners at Jefferson, as well as the upcoming LPAC exam, which will be starting in February. And so we talked about what this test is, what it means for our students who are being reclassified, and they provided their feedback and suggestions for what they would like to see at our school and what would be helpful to them and their students so that they can also provide support at school, at home, as well as what we're doing at school. So shout out to our ELAC. And and our wonderful Jefferson PTA. This is our yearly obstacle-a-thon. It is the biggest fundraiser of the year that our PTA puts on. I mean, talk about bringing joy. This was a Thursday morning, and our students were so happy on a Thursday morning to have this amazing event take place. So we had all these amazing volunteers who came through and helped us put the obstacle-a-thon together. And then we had students running through obstacles in the morning and having fun. And then all of these funds that come from our PTA then support us in other events throughout the year, including assemblies, such as the Lunar New Year assembly that we just had last Friday. And then also as part of who we are at Jefferson, as I mentioned earlier, we have 2 academic threads running through our school. We have these amazing teachers that help us facilitate those programs. Our teachers are dedicated, they are committed. They are here to help us bring joy to our children every day. Part of our program is a strictly English instruction thread where the content is learned in English only throughout the day. That's from TK up to 5th grade at our school. The second thread at our school is our Spanish dual language immersion program. Currently, our program runs from kindergarten to 2nd grade, and every year we are transitioning another grade level. So next year we'll be transitioning the 3rd grade bilingual class into a dual language immersion class as well. And so in this program, our students are learning bilingualism and biliteracy. So they are learning content, their math, their ELA, their science, social studies in a target language. And for us, that target language is Spanish. So I'm going to show you a video so you can get a little bit of a snapshot of what happens throughout the day in a DLI classroom.
Y cuando es una letra decimos Y. Y cuando es una palabra Y. Perfecto. All right, la más difícil.
Mi mamá y yo juego. Mi mamá y yo jugamos con la pelota. Mi mamá y yo
ustedes van a tener que platicarse, comunicarse bien de una manera positiva para que puedan lograr separar.
Que tengan estos tres. Es con ahora no puedes estar, el de cena va a las
So one of the things we are the most proud of in bringing dual language immersion to our students is this idea of diversity as strength. Our classrooms are composed of, at the kinder level, 12 native Spanish speakers and 12 English native speakers. And what we teach them is to see each other's differences as strengths, that they can support each other in the development of language through Spanish or the development of language in English. And one of the things you would have seen in that video towards the end was a student who's an English native speaker explaining math in Spanish to his partner. And at one point he gets stuck for a second and he says, "How do you say?" And then his partner, who is a Spanish language native, explains it to him, and then he repeats it in Spanish. And so this idea of collaboration is one of the greatest strengths of our program. And it's one of the reasons that we're happy to continue bringing this up the grade levels at Jefferson. All right, and finally, One of the most important components at our school is having our volunteers, our parent volunteers who are with us every day. We want to say thank you to our Jefferson Volunteers of the Year, who are going to come up in just a few seconds, Miss Sarah Perez and Miss Paula Ford. Miss Sarah Perez has 3 students at our school. She volunteers in all 3 classrooms, as well as any other classroom that needs help. So if you come and you visit our school, you are likely to find Sarah on our campus helping somewhere, either with bulletin boards or inside the classroom, supporting with whatever the teachers need. When I spoke to the classroom teachers about her, one of the things that stood out is that they all agreed on was this idea of initiative and how she goes out of her way to give the students great experiences, no matter what it means. So even if it means that she's going to drive out of her way to find the material that they need for the perfect project, Sarah will do that for our Jaguars, and we are so grateful to her. We also want to say thank you to Miss Paula Ford, who has 2 students in our dual language immersion program, also supporting in our classrooms, both classrooms. Again, if you come on our campus, you're going to see her in one of those classrooms supporting our teachers. She's also an active member of PATAS, which is our Parents and Teachers Advocating for African American Student Success at Jefferson. And she's also a supporter of our PTA. And one of the great things that happened this year was that she and her husband put together a Charlotte's Web themed car for our Trunk or Treat event, complete with a giant spider that was crafted by hand. So we are very grateful to them and thankful to them as well for having them in our community. So we want to give a big Jaguar thank you to Sarah Perez and Paula Ford. All right, so if you can come on up, we're going to recognize you. Thank you so much. Okay, a big round of applause for the Jaguars. Thank you so much, Principal Valencia. All right, now we're gonna move up the street, up Bancroft to McKinley Elementary School and the Eagles. So excited to have them. We have Malika Campbell, principal, will be presenting today. So give her a nice round of applause.
Good evening to the board, the superintendent, Dr. McLaughlin, and to the cabinet. And good evening, everyone. Does the clicker here? All right. So tonight, I'm just going to go over the goals. So that's our themes. We're just going to hit those goals. We're going to hit goals 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here we go. So to start off, my name is Malika Campbell. I'm the principal at McKinley Elementary, and I am honored to be here this evening, and I'm so excited to celebrate our school. So to help me start this off, I'm going to go to the kindness ambassadors who are at my school. They're going to guide us through goals 2 and 5.
Hola, bienvenido a McKinley.
Namaskar, McKinley Aptus Fagat High.
Tanai Sterling. In Kwan Visalam, Wada McKinley, the Mutabetu Methatu.
Akam baga naga barumsa McKinley uftan. Xin chào, chào mừng bạn đến với McKinley. Hello, welcome to McKinley. We are the kindness ambassadors. You may be wondering what a kindness ambassador is. A kindness ambassador is a fifth grade student who has demonstrated the ability to make a difference throughout their time at McKinley. We are there to offer a helping hand when someone's hands are full, an invitation to join rather than leaving someone out. It can even be as small as a smile or a hello. We are the student leaders at McKinley who help to create a welcoming environment for our current, new, and future students. One of our main jobs is to welcome new students to McKinley. Let's show you what it is like to be the new member of the McKinley family. Let's go. Before we meet a new student, we stop by our classroom to pick up our name tag and welcome packet. Then we meet our new student in the office. Sometimes we get to meet their parents too. We introduce ourselves using the language the student is most comfortable with when possible. Before we leave the office area, we tell the student if they need anything, abandon a friend, or need to know how to get there. The office is a great first choice. Next, we head to our multi-purpose room. This is where we eat breakfast and lunch. We get breakfast and lunch by going through this line here. We also have assemblies in here. This is our shade structure. Instrument and chorus get to eat lunch here on the days of their lessons. You also get to use it for ABC Club, Rainbow Club, and other fun activities with your teacher. Next, we head out to the playground. We show them all the fun things they get to do at recess, such as foursquare, tetherball, and playing on the playground. We also show them the outside bathrooms available to use during recess and lunch. Lastly, we head to the students' classroom. On the way, we show them the bathrooms closest to their classroom. Our DTK students get a special experience where we skip the tour, meet them in their classroom, and hang out, play, and spend time with them to get comfortable with the school environment. Finally, we arrive at their classroom and introduce them to their teacher. Before saying goodbye, we give them their welcome packet and remind them if they ever need anything, they can ask their teacher or office for us, and we will be there. Be sure to come to McKinley soon. We look forward to meeting you. Now you know. Oh my God.
They're so sweet. They're so sweet. Thank you. All right. Stay there. As principal, I'm just a part of a bigger community. To speak to that community, please help me welcome Mari Ulrich, who will highlight goals 1 and 3, and joining her on stage are 2 paras, Miss Kathy and Miss Brown, 2 teachers, Miss Mantilla and Miss Thompson, who's also our course coordinator. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mari Ulrich, and I am the intervention specialist at McKinley. And I'm here to speak briefly about our strategic goals, number 1 and number 3. And the first one, number 1, being our responsive support structures. And at all sites, and I'll speak to McKinley, we are very, very responsive to our students and to our school community. And the key word being responsive, we really like to come at everything with a preventive approach rather than reactive. We want to get under what the students need right away. And I'd really like to just commend everyone standing here, Miss Mantilla, 3rd grade teacher, Miss Helen Brown, who's been at McKinley for 30 years, as long as I have, as both a our noon duty supervisor and paraeducator, and Miss Kathy Rodriguez, also noon duty supervisor and paraeducator, and Michelle Thompson, kindergarten teacher. And I feel it's so important to have these colleagues here standing before you, because it really speaks to the fact that at McKinley, we just really rally around all of our students, and we are just here. We know most of the teachers know all of the students by name, and that is something that we're trying to foster, is really just building these connections, not just within the classrooms, but across the school side, and just having our pulse on all the kids and what they need. We are really responsive in terms of our data. We all have our pulse on the data at all times, and talk about it routinely to promote student achievement. We're responsive in terms of our intervention programs. Just as at Jefferson, we also have push in and pull out interventions, but most of our interventions are happening within the classrooms. We really want to make sure that there are strong tier 1 and tier 2 supports happening in the classroom and not just through pull-out programs. And we're so proud of that at McKinley. And we're responsive in terms of our growing knowledge around universal design for learning. The professional development day at the beginning of the year really provided a great, some momentum for us to really understand how we can better serve our students who all learn so very differently and come to serve them in ways that are very unique and innovative. And so that's just a few of the ways that we are supporting our strategic goal number 1. In regards to strategic goal number 3, which is I'll speak to our collaboration, which is so cohesive and always has been at McKinley. We are cohesive in terms of our site inquiry work. And this year, as have all schools in the district, we are really, really focused on our teacher action research. We have Miss Mantilla who taught in San Leandro, then went off to the Mills Teacher Scholar Program and came back as our resident expert on the inquiry cycle. And we're very immersed in that right now and very doing great work around that. We're cohesive around grade level collaboration. Teachers at McKinley have been collaborating together since before collaboration was a thing. I've been there a long time, and it's something that we really have to be proud of. Cohesive in terms of our committee work, and cohesive also in terms as my personal collaboration with teachers to help build their capacity and become stronger and better. And it's just a privilege to work with everyone at McKinley in every way. So thank you very much.
You want to hang out? That's fine. Say hang out. All right, gonna go to the next one. Glorious is a song that our McKinley Chorus has performed at various school events, and it speaks to the heart of Goal 4 for us at our school. And I would like to celebrate a few families and chorus members. Shout out my PTO, I see you, Kate. Our SSC members, our ELAC, and I love my partnership with Boys and Girls. So if you're with McKinley, can you guys just give me a wave? For time's sake, I won't have you all come to the stage, but here's our heart.
There are times when might feel aimless, can't see the places where you belong,
But you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along.
when you're near it, you can almost hear it.
It's like a symphony. Speak the same. You will know how to let it ring out as you discover who you are. Others around you start to wake up to the sounds that are in their hearts.
It's so amazing what we're all creating.
It's
that you feel.
Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out who you're going to.
Thank you. When I was asked to think of a parent volunteer of the year, this person came to my mind immediately. Please help me welcome Denise Duran. While she makes her way here, she's a Bancroft LCAP representative. She's a DLAC president. She's a McKinley ELAC secretary, SSC member, volunteered for 5 years in the TK and K classrooms, and she has 2 sons, one at McKinley and one at Bancroft.
I'm so proud to be in McKinley. I love McKinley.
Okay, give it up for McKinley one more time. Thank you so much, Principal Campbell. Principal Campbell has some VIPs in the audience too. We give her a round of applause for her father and her stepmother are both here. So I love that. Bringing the family in. Okay, only 2 more. I know I'm sad. Let's have, we're going to go down and visit Roosevelt Elementary School, the home of the Hornets. And we have Principal David Kumamoto who will be presenting. Give him a big round of applause.
Good evening. I'm David Kumamoto, principal at Roosevelt Elementary School. And tonight I'm going to share our partnerships that we've created this year to address our strategic plan. Tonight, you'll learn about Girls on the Run and how they've come to our campus to create healthy minds and bodies for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade girls. Our partnership with Lead by Learning to work with our instructional leadership team to create effective and meaningful outcomes for students in mathematics. You'll learn about the ILT and the website they've created and the process they created for instructional rounds that helped our students, our teachers expand, shared, and aligned professional expertise throughout the school. Lead by Learning also worked with our culture and climate team to increase the feeling of safety on our campus. You'll hear from our culture and climate team how they created uniform approaches and common language for all our students. You'll also hear from our partnership with Boys and Girls Club as we created and expanded our ELOP program on our campus. Additionally, some of our classes after school, such as our Latin dance, will be performing tonight. And lastly, we'll present the Volunteer of the Year. So let's get started.
Hello, I am Jess Mold and I'm a third grade teacher at Roosevelt. I'm also the lead instructor for Girls on the Run. Girls on the Run is an evidence-based program that inspires all girls to build their confidence, kindness, and decision-making skills. The dynamic lessons install valuable life skills, including the important connection between physical and emotional health. They do that by running laps, but also talking about tough issues such as building up your positivity, making the best of situations, maybe talking over a tough situation that happened that day at school. The lessons blend these physical activities with life skills to help each girls adapt to whatever comes their way and recognize their individual strength no matter their abilities. It also helps the girls feel part of a team and make connection at Roosevelt. There's 6 C's that we focus on: confidence, character, care, connection, competence, and contribution. And those all make up the lessons that we partake in the 12-week program. Roosevelt is about to enter its 3rd successful season. The previous 2 seasons, capped at 20 girls, have filled up within 48 hours, both times it's been posted. This program is open to 3rd through 5th graders, and it happens on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 4:30. The program trains for a 5K that we run at the end of the season that you can see up here. This was taken at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco on a Saturday. We rallied our troops and we made our way to San Francisco at 7:30 a.m. and ran around the beautiful park. We've also ran a 5K at Quarry Lakes in Fremont for our 1st season. The coaching staff is composed of teachers and parent volunteers that help make all girls feel supported and great. Some statements from students are they were able to build friendships, communicate with people properly, and help with their running stamina. They also learned the importance of positive thinking and not giving up.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sarah Sugarman, and my colleague Nee Truong and I are from Lead by Learning, formerly called Mills Teacher Scholars. Shout out to you, Miss Mantia. We are a program of the School of Education at Mills College at Northeastern University, and we exist to create cultures of learning and curiosity in schools and districts rather than cultures of compliance. And the way that we do that is to cultivate and help our partners cultivate a set of mindsets and practices that create robust teacher learning communities so that they can work together in service of their goals for students. And he's going to share a little more about what that looks like at Roosevelt this year.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm a little short. But at Lead by Learning, we believe that everyone is a teacher leader. And we try to prepare every teacher in school to be a driver of change. And my role at Roosevelt, and I have to say, Roosevelt is such a special school. Shout out to this beautiful team of teachers who are so committed into just changing from instructional practices to community and coaches. Such a privilege for me to come in and work with these just beautiful human beings who love our students so much. And these are the goals that they focus on for the year. So when I come in, my facilitations really focus on facilitating meetings with protocols and other reflective practices to support data-driven decisions, support these teacher leaders, Natasha and Laura, in leading their teams. And I have witnessed so much growth and impact from working with the team this year. We're seeing impact and effort because people believe in the work. And there's a lot of consistent structures that are being built. And we know that this is really important to support our student learning. I'm so excited to celebrate Roosevelt because this is the behind the scene work that's really celebrated in this way. The hours that they're spending after school to plan instruction change, Kenny spending hours over break to make this website that y'all are gonna see. And this is just our 1st year that we're working with Roosevelt. We're hoping to continue the partnership moving forward to even see a more of a bigger impact in the coming year. I'm gonna bring on Kenny to talk to us about the IoT work that they have done this year.
Hi, I'm Kenny Moy. I'm a third grade teacher and I'm a member of the instructional leadership team, and we meet once a month to help teachers improve their curriculum and improve their approaches. So at the end of last year, we polled the teachers, what would you like to think about? What would you like to focus on this year? And they said math. So at the beginning of the year, we thought about it, did some research, and decided to focus on math discourse because it's really important, especially in understanding word problems, that you'll be able to talk about your strategies, to listen to other kids' strategies, and to really communicate. So we came out with these sentence frames. We gave the electronic versions to the teachers, and we made these table tents, which were inspired by Mari Ulrich, who was here earlier, so that these can be placed on students' tables and they can use these to improve their discussions. But in order to get it going, we also created a website where teachers could go on and get ideas about how to see it actually in action. And we've done instructional rounds where the members of the instructional leadership team taught demonstration lessons. So we all taught a lesson, and then 3 other teachers from the school came to watch us. And after that, we sat down to discuss what happened and talked about how to improve it. And then this next week, there's going to be 5 more teachers who are also doing demonstration lessons. So we want every teacher to have a chance to show what they know and to let other people learn from them, and to improve our ability to teach students how to do better mathematical discourse. And here are some of the things on the website where teachers can go, read about teachers thinking, and watch videos of students actually using the materials.
Hi, good evening. My name is Laura Van Slyke. I'm a first grade teacher at Roosevelt. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm so glad to have been asked to present about the work that Culture and Climate is doing this year, which is the team I'm part of at this particular event, because we've had so many lovely students come up and share about what they're doing to resolve conflict and to advocate for peace on their classroom communities. One of the things we've been doing at Roosevelt is we've been trying to unify the language that we use when we talk about conflict resolution. So one of the tools we've really gravitated towards is from Soul Shop. It's called the Peace Path. This was mentioned earlier by 2 students from Jefferson, I believe. Was it Hannah and Kenzo? Yes. So that's so awesome. So we're using the same language at our campus, and when our students get to middle school, they'll be able to recognize this language and speak with common terms. So the Peace Path, as you can see here, is basically an apology tool. It's helping people express what they need, advocate for themselves, and then also to clean up messes that they've made socially with other children. We want this language to be uniform. We're going to be painting it on the grounds of the school so that children can physically walk along the peace path and make peace with each other. We think that you're doing fabulous work. It was Jefferson and it was also McKinley who have student leadership that are working on conflict resolution. Nicole Lamb, a fantastic 4th grade teacher at our school, is going to be training our students as well to be peacemakers using this language of the peace path. So I'm really excited to see that that common language is being shared. That's how the best work gets done in our district. Another tool that we're using for common language on campus is the Hive 5. Hive 5, haha, we are the Roosevelt Hornets. It's virtually impossible to find something Hornet related that's not like evil. So we thought the Hive was kind of nice. This was from PBIS, which we've sort of shifted away from, but some things we wanted to take with us was a way to recognize positive behavior in a way that children can take home to their families and say, you know, look, my teacher saw me being respectful and they wrote you a little note to show you. We voted as a staff to add 2 Bs to the 3 Bs. The PBIS Bs are be responsible, be respectful, be safe. Our staff voted to add be kind as one of our Bs, and they also advocated to add be just as one of our Bs. So those are the 5 Bs on our campus. This year in Culture and Climate, we really want to push that every single person on campus is someone who can celebrate your success. So what we've really been pushing this year is encouraging folks like the librarian, the office staff, the custodial staff, the folks on the yard, to be interfacing with the students in a really positive way, and to be having more positive interactions than not. So we're using the high five as a tool all across campus. It's not just between teachers and students, but rather anyone on campus wants to see you doing well and now has a way to quickly acknowledge that. So that's some work we've been doing.
Great, thank you. I'm Elizabeth Avila, Program Director at Roosevelt for the Boys and Girls Club, and we are part of the Expanded Learning Program. And this is our first, well, we've been there for about a year now. We're a new program at Roosevelt. So at our program, we are dedicated to providing a positive, safe environment, academic support, and daily enrichment, as well as social and emotional learning activities. So these are some of our enrichments. What do they consist of is providing kids with the opportunity to have their voices heard with community circles that we have, where we do daily check-ins with the kids, where we do different topics and check in with their daily how they're feeling. Also with community and skill building activities, as you can see with our hula hoop challenges, as well as STEM related activities, and also staying actively and physically with outdoor organized games, as you can see with basketball, soccer games. And also we take mindfulness also with our younger kids. They like to do yoga meditation. And we are also providing that academic support with daily homework help, or even if kids don't have that homework, we do provide academic support with other activities. Oh, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam, and I'm here to introduce the Roosevelt Latin Dance Team. We are a group of students in 1st through 5th grade, and we practice every week after school. Something that I like about being a part of this team is dancing with my friends and like having fun. We are going to perform a Latin dance, a salsa dance to the song Chilipu by El Gran Combo del Puerto Rico.
Tuviera un palacio, de ti no me olvidaría. Si no tuviera un palacio, de ti no me olvidaría. Porque tú eres reina y reina de la vida mía. Porque tú eres reina, reina y reina de la vida mía. A Chile, a Chile, Oye, Chile,
One more quick hand for our Latin dancers. Now I want to introduce our volunteer of the year, Miss Laura Barbosa. You want to start coming up? Miss Barbosa has been volunteering in her son's first grade class, but like many others, she's willing to help out anywhere the school needs. Sometimes it's lunch help, sometimes another classroom, whatever's needed, she's there. She's also been involved in parent groups such as Voces Unidas and PTA. Not only that, she participates in leadership with our ELAC and our DLAC. As the DLAC member, she is vice president, and much of that this year, she's been president until recently. So give it up for Miss Laura Barbosa.
All right, give it up for Roosevelt. Beautifully done. I can't believe you're all staying seated during that Latin dancing, right? Give him a high five, I think is what I heard. Okay, we got one left. Last but not least, would you please give a warm SLUSD welcome to Washington Elementary School, home of the Wildcats. And this will be Principal Monica Manriquez will be the one presenting for us tonight. So here we go. She's going to close us out.
Next time we should end with the salsa for a dance session. That was nice. Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Manriquez, the principal of Washington Elementary School, and I am very excited to be here tonight to share with you the wonderful things that the Washington community has been working on. So I do have to admit that I am looking forward to next year's presentation because it was hard. It was very hard to narrow things down for today. So I, did my best to select a few, but there's a lot more definitely going on. So just for tonight, we will be focusing on our dual language immersion program. There's lots of exciting updates to share of the program. This year, we are fully implemented at Washington, which is exciting. I'll share more about that. Also going on right now, we have our English Learner Bootcamp. So that came from feedback and the voice of our parents from our ELAC group. Also new to Washington this year is a TK program, which everyone just welcomed with open arms, and they have been such a great, wonderful addition to our site. Also, we have this year our student council. So first student council that we have, and I have a special student here that will share a little bit about that. It was very instrumental in that coming to Washington. The Umoja Boys Club, also to another after-school program that's very excited, geared towards our 4th and 5th grade African-American boys. And also we have Boys and Girls Club. Here, Ms. Maya, our Yarbrough, our director is here. So we have some bragging rights for the Boys and Girls Club. Very excited to share that information. And also to just share a lot of highlights about what we're working on, what we've been doing, a couple events coming that for our family and community engagement. And then last but not least, the people that, you know, above and beyond that helped to make this happen, recognizing our 2 parent volunteers of the year awards. For the dual language immersion program, wow, where do I start? You know, it's a very exciting program. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of observations that we make. We have committed staff, our students, and our community is very passionate about the dual language immersion at Washington. And like I said, it's exciting. It's exciting to see that this year we have our first 5th grade cohort DLI. So that is exciting. With that, I'm wanting to share, you know, kudos and appreciation for Ms. Doris Castillo and also to Bancroft Middle School. We are working on collaborating and opening up the expansion for the dual language immersion at Bancroft. So again, kudos to San Leandro Unified for their commitment to the language program and that expansion. That's awesome and phenomenal. So, and just know that our parents, it's all the rage, it's all the buzz. So they're very excited too. So thank you for supporting the language programs. With that also, again, you know, having been a language teacher myself, it is a hard craft. So I just, again, want to recognize all the hard work that the teachers put in, their commitment, a lot of respect for the challenges. I mean, you know, we're talking about usually in classrooms, you know, different language learners learning English, but you've got 2 going both ways, you know, and I just can't say enough for how committed the teachers are. And I'm happy to have, you know, we'll have a moment of mic time also for Mr. Francisco, one of our 4th grade DLI teachers here that'll share a little bit about Washington program. And then also a student, we will hear from Serena Flores, our 5th grade DLI student. And we are meeting monthly with the staff, and I do want to share exciting news too that with commitment to the work that goes into the program, we are also working also to support that collaboration with our partner schools within San Leandro Unified. So so far we are working with Jefferson Elementary. Again, these are our partners, these are our colleagues, this is the teachers. It's a tough craft, and it's nice to talk to teachers from other sites and have, you know, the cross collaboration that's extremely important. So I'm excited for that opportunity. Well, it just pushes everybody's thinking, and who benefits there is definitely our students and also our teachers that have that collaboration opportunity. And so with much further ado, I will welcome up Mr. Francisco, our 4th grade dual language immersion teacher that is also our member of our instructional leadership team, also Peacemakers Teachers Lead. My goodness, quite a bit. And also, you know, one that opens up his door at lunchtime to his students. So Mr. Francisco is definitely a popular teacher of ours. Welcome up.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Francisco Leon, and I teach 4th grade DLI over at Washington, and I'm here to talk about my experience this year. This year has been interesting. Early in the year, I was tasked with teaching both 4th grade DLI classes Spanish, because the 2nd class didn't have access to a teacher that spoke Spanish. So when the year first started, we had a system where every other week, the 2nd class came over to my room. I gave them instruction for about 100 minutes daily, and then they would go back to their homeroom class. That system worked to solve the immediate problem of giving the 2nd class access to a Spanish-speaking instructor, but it didn't fully achieve our goal of making our students fluent in Spanish. So this year we created a new system where every day the classes have half day with me where I teach in Spanish and the half day with my partner teacher where he takes care of the English language arts. And I see the value in getting to see both classes every day. Whereas in the first system, I got to teach them for a week, didn't see them the 2nd week, and they come back the 3rd week. By the time they came back on the 3rd week, about half of them forgot what I taught. I have to review stuff that sets both of us back in the curriculum. It wasn't working too well. With the current system, I see them every day, so I'm better able to assess what they need, what I need to give them. And I'm really happy that we broke up the workload. Before this, I was teaching more or less everything. Now I get to teach Spanish language arts, math, and science. I only have to worry about those 3 things. And one of the pros out of that is that I get to teach those first 3 lessons the first half of the day. I pull out what worked, what didn't work. And then with the second class, I apply that. So the second class each day gets that benefit. I'm also part of the ILT team. So this year we decided to make our inquiry writing. In 4th and 5th grade, we want to develop our students as better writers in character development. So what we are planning to do is conduct a reading lesson where students work with a book they can easily understand. And we ask them to share with us which character they connect to the best. Why do you connect to them the best? After we make a list of what things they connect to, we want to make them understand a good writer makes you connect to the characters. So now let's make you a good writer. How can we improve your writing and character development? What does the character look like? What facial expressions do they use when they're upset? How do they walk? How do they communicate themselves? All that goes into becoming a better writer. So that's what we're focusing this year in 4th and 5th grade at DLI, me specifically in Spanish. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Now I'd like to introduce Serena Flores, our 5th grade student representative and also again, member of the first DLI cohort.
Hello, my name is Serena Flores, and I'm here to talk about some of the wonderful things happening at Washington Elementary School. A couple of those things are our DLI program and the Student Council activities. I'd like to begin by sharing with you that I'm a student from the first DLI cohort at Washington, and I am now a 5th grade student getting ready to move on to Bancroft. I'm excited to continue the DLI program at Bancroft Middle School next school year. I have learned so much in the DLI program. I have learned how to read, speak, write, and listen in 2 languages, Spanish and English. I like the fact that I can communicate with people in 2 languages. Because of the dual language immersion program at Washington, students are able to learn Spanish in fun ways. We have learned many things, and we have dedicated teachers who help us when we have questions or when we can't understand certain words. My classmates are really nice, and we help each other with learning in both languages. Speaking Spanish and English can help me and my classmates with our jobs in the future. We will be able to help multiple communities. People should consider entering the DLI program because you learn a lot and it's fun. Las personas deberían ingresar al programa de Toma la Inmersión porque aprendan mucho y es divertido. Thank you.
Gracias, Serena. EL Bootcamp. You're going to see a through line of staff members they help make things run and operate. And so big appreciation to our staff. EL Bootcamp came about again from feedback from our ELAC, which is our English Learner Advisory Committee. And so really focusing on this is a boot camp focused on our students in the 4th and 5th grade. And we have 3 teacher leads that are involved. We have Ms. Joan Bonzi, which is our intervention specialist teacher. Also another appreciation to Mr. Raul Castellanos, which is our 2nd grade dual language immersion teacher. And also a great addition to our team this year is Ms. Adriana Torres, which is our 5th grade DLI teacher. So again, they've done a lot of professional development. They've looked at the LPAC, the English Learner Assessment from the state, and then also done a lot of work just to look at what are the needs of the 4th and 5th grade students. So really looking at that holistic, all right, these looks like these groups of students by data, looking at their scores, what type of support do they need? And so they've done a lot of work just front loading and trying to get organized to make sure that we're very strategic in helping our students reclassify, but also being mindful to what are their academic needs. So again, that is an exciting thing that is currently going on. Actually today, we had that class. Again, just appreciation too to the our new program with it, our new classroom of the TK program this school year. Miss Julie Grajeda and Miss Rebecca Granados, the paraeducator. They do a great and wonderful job. Again, these are little ones that we didn't have last year, and something that they wanted me to share with you all is that, you know, there's just 4 pieces that are very important to them every day that they plan and lesson design for our little TKers. They focus on their play-based and inquiry learning, equitable learning environment, making sure that the space, you know, you can feel that you also parents are involved and they're welcome in the classroom. Social emotional learning, that's very important for them as well. Having those dialogues at a very young age is very important for them, and they're very mindful of those conversations and that language that, you know, should be developing at that young age. And also, you know, they spend a lot of time lesson designing with hands-on project-based learning. So everything that they're doing is with again, giving the students that experience. So everything that they're learning, they're doing a lot of hands-on. And so it's exciting to see this new addition to at Washington this school year. Also, our student council, that is also something that we have new for the school year. And so Serena's also going to come back. And so we have her instrumental in this as well. And so she did come to me in the fall. So I think prior to pandemic, this was something that she always aspired for. And now that she's 4th and 5th, was like, hey, are we going to have a student council? I was like, well, let's make that happen. And so it's because of her email, she emailed her principal and, you know, lobbied for it. And I love the process. And I forward that on to the 4th, 5th grade team. I said, hey, we have a vocal student. This is what we're talking about at staff, right? We want to honor voice. And Serena, she has a few more words about student council. So she's one of the many council members.
On November 8th, students voted for school president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Every second week of the month on Fridays, we hold a student council meeting to discuss events and upcoming plans for the school. We are planning a spirit week in February, talent show in March, school cleanup day in April, and we will be starting the cleanup crew organization up again soon. Thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great evening. Gracias por escuchar. Espero que todos tengan una gran noche.
Watch out, Bancroft, she's coming. Okay. And also too, tonight we want to highlight something that's new. So it was nice when we came in the fall and shared these ideas that we had. And so it's nice to share that these things came to fruition. So new to Washington this school year is the Umoja Boys Club. Unfortunately, Mr. Nicholas Proctor could not be with us here tonight, but he is our 5th grade teacher. And this is something that, you know, we talked about initially in the fall. And again, these are these things that it's here. And so this came about. Umoja is a word in Swahili, and, you know, it's about unity, culture, and it has a deep meaning. And so this was something that was very mindful for the naming of the club. And so this is for our 4th and 5th grade African-American boys. And in a few minutes, we'll hear from Miss Maya. But what I'm excited to share about the Umoja Club Boys Club is that, you know, it came from collaboration with support of like staff members like Miss Maya that has been at Washington for about over 11 years, and also some of her staff members. So this is exciting part of the after school Boys and Girls Club and the ELOT funds, and having that come into play in partnership with our teachers. So they were instrumental in making this happen. And so the Umoja Boys Club is an after-school club for African-American boys on campus. And the club focuses on teaching and learning about African-American culture in the past, present, and future. So Mr. Proctor really prides himself on making, you know, that's a safe space. This is a time for conversation. This is a time for community. And I'm just excited to see it really take off. And so it's the 2nd month. But again, the Boys and Girls Club also is instrumental in supporting this piece. So I'm excited to come back and share, you know, growth and what they continue to do. And so without further ado, a key player of mine is, you know, I say we're at Washington from, it's 8 to 6. And so when our little ones arrive in the morning, So when they leave from Boys and Girls Club, they're in great hands. And so Miss Maya and I work in partnership, really close tandem. So can't say enough about how amazing Miss Maya is. And she always, again, she knows our students. She collaborates with me during the school day. Parents know we'll both show up to meetings because why? The school day doesn't just end at 3 at Washington. It's very important, that conversation between her and I. And so again, that's the bridging that I'll give her an opportunity to share about. We thought a bragging point, a through line we're really proud about. One of your second, say, smallest elementaries, but we are the largest Boys and Girls Club in San Leandro Unified. Miss Maya?
Hello and good evening. Just to piggyback off of the last slide, we have Coach D, who partners with Mr. Proctor with the Emoja Group. What was, I think, meaningful for everyone and myself was he was a former student at Washington, and to watch that career path, you know, move forward and show these kids that, hey, I once was you, right? A man of color, and just being at this school, and look at me now, right? And I can give back to my community. And I think that's what makes that very special, that we can follow through in those steps. I am the program director of the after school program. I'm not sure which way I should be facing, this way or this way, but, and I'm so sorry, but I'm Miss Maya, and we are one of the smallest schools with the largest program. You know, I wrote down what makes us Wildcats with the after school program and daytime. I don't see a difference. I feel like it's all the same. We have 40% of the school in our program, and I'm sure it will expand. And just building community means building a family. And I think that's one thing that we can really talk about. And I think we do a really good job with. Most of our faculty members, our lovely principal, our students, parents, just really make it feel like home. I feel at peace when I'm at Washington, going on my 11th year at Washington. So I feel very proud to be on both sides. And yes. Some of the things you heard earlier, we obviously do the same things. Some of the activities and enrichments that we focus on, right? Active engagement, project-based learning, skill building, you know, healthy choices are coming to full effect very soon now that COVID is dying down, right? Getting more hands-on into our garden and reviving it, right? Our lesson plans, first and foremost, like we make our lesson plans, we follow state standards, we try to get crafty and creative, think outside the box. As you heard, we have part of our student council here. Youth voice matters to us as well. And it's huge. Some of the things that you see up here, we learn about culture, you know, during the morning and afternoon. We have makerspace at the bottom, you know, making things out of Amazon boxes, because that's where we get lots of stuff in. And we talk about a little bit of social justice. That's where that Peace and Love project come from on a elementary level. And then the many siblings that we have in our program, it's continuous. And these are just some of the photos, you know, be the leader. We have nothing but heart and love for everyone. And just our community snack circles, we want them to be in circles so we can collaborate, we can talk. There's no one facing someone's back or whatnot, right? We're able to communicate with one another. We have robotics, the list goes on. And I feel really lucky to be at Washington and have this fabulous partnership and continuing forward. So thank you, everyone.
Family and community engagement is another highlight. The folks that will be receiving the volunteer awards were instrumental in making pretty much every one of these items on here. So, I mean, it was exciting, especially coming back from last year, which, we will say no more about the challenges with just, pandemic and whatnot, but it's just been beautiful from the get-go to have, again, these parents that were there present last school year with the ideas. All of these conversations happened last spring, and to see this come to fruition is really exciting, but definitely has been a lot of work and a lot of time that these two volunteers have put into making this happen. So just, again, there's more than this, but, we had the haunted house in Fall Carnival. Again, these folks were instrumental in that. Our pancake breakfast, pumpkin patch, movie nights, book fairs. We have Groove and Glow Dance coming actually next week. Readathon, we're currently in that fundraiser at this point, supporting our goals, which is literacy in the writing piece, where that is a heavy focus of the staff at this time. Talent show coming up too, and also our soul food night for May. So again, this is just, it's exciting to welcome back the community in open arms and on campus. A special highlight I wanted to give, Miss Maria Ochoa, our parent facilitator, was instrumental in making this happen. The Season of Giving Family Holiday Support Program. And so she worked very hard and has a system in place where, she has trust with a lot of parents, and they came to her with kind of a wish list for the holiday season. And we put out to our community, to our parent group, and we had a lot of families that sponsored these families that were in need. And I think, like my colleague said earlier, the holidays are great, but sometimes they can be very hard times for many of our families. So, and that's what we do in a community. We support one another. So I just wanted to highlight that work that was done and appreciate Miss Ochoa for that. And all the parents that supported that, because that was, again, without them, we couldn't have done that. And without, against the highlight that bridging to the family engagement, I'd like to give, again, the special appreciation to two of our parent volunteers. And so Miss Ana Garcia is a parent that, like I said, last year was my first year at Washington and was one of the first parents I met. And so, right away says, I want to volunteer. I want to, make sure that we continue this work. And so she was there on campus since last year. She's on her own organized catalog fundraisers, pumpkin patch. Also, something that was very, very kind last year is the monthly just staff appreciation lunches. And so they organized that, and that was just nice because it helped our staff just keep going. During hard times, it was nice to have parents they'd come in, they'd drop off all this food. So thank you to Miss Ana Garcia. So she's one of our award recipients. Thank you, Miss Ana. And yeah, let's give her a round of applause. And our second award goes to Miss Kathy Clark. Miss Kathy Clark as well, as we, started the year, came back and really weren't sure where PTO, our first group, disbanded. And Miss Kathy Clark came in and, started picking up pieces and filings. That takes a lot of work. I learned about how much work it takes to kick off a PTO. So, and Miss Kathy Clark was, has been instrumental, doing homework behind the scenes. Again, this is all work that we're, that started last school year, and she, was there, and it's great to have her, on campus. And so she is our PTO president. And so we are having those meetings now. It's just exciting to have that momentum. And the theme I had last year was, we're on the rebuild. And so rebuild, we have all of these events now that are going on because of them. So I want to honor both parents and invite them up to the stage for their award. Miss Ana Garcia. And Miss Kathy Clark.
Woo, okay, so that is our East Side Schools and Board of Trustees, Dr. Mike, Cabinet, and audience. It's been a pleasure to have you here. I'm going to turn the microphone back over to President Oshinsky for comments. And thank you all, especially our principals. I know you put so much work into that, so I deeply appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. Before we get to the comments, I just want to give a big thank you to all of our presenters this evening, from our principals to our teachers, to our parents, to our partners at Boys and Girls Club, and most of all, our students. We appreciate all of you. Thank you. Great job. All right, let's start with Trustee Proctor.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say, I don't think there's a word in the English dictionary that could describe how amazing these schools are doing. Like, seeing these presentations, seeing how involved the staff are, seeing how involved the parents are is so refreshing to see. And just to see how the students are absorbing and taking in their experiences in the most important stages of their school curriculum is so fantastic. And I'm so honored to be a part of this community and be a part of this district, because this is an amazing reflection of what a child's experience in school should be and can be like if we really put the effort in and work together to achieve that standard. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Parola.
I don't think I can say anything better than that. That's why we have a student board member and that's why she gets honored. But yeah, it was really nice to see all the presentations from the different schools and just to keep us kind of updated on what you're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for putting so much time and energy into the presentations. It's nice for us. We vote on policies and we vote on things that contracts, and it's nice to actually see what happens with the things we vote on and the money that we spend. And so thank you for letting us have a snapshot of what you're doing. And I was amazed by Trustee Proctor. This is her very first one of these, and her words were so profound that I was like, wow. It's really nice to see that our schools are such caring and kind and peacemaking communities that I am eager to see what these children will do as they go out into the world. So thank you all.
Thank you, Trustee Pearl.
Hello, good evening. I know we have lost quite a few people, so I wanted to thank everyone who came out tonight. So if you go back to your school communities, please thank everyone who came out and thank you for staying. I just took some notes around just through lines that I saw tonight that I just want to pick up and celebrate. Number one, just the theme of kindness that I'm seeing across our campuses. It makes me so happy to see from our elementary schools up to our middle schools, just an emphasis, a really intentional emphasis on kindness, compassion, throughout the peacekeeping. The peer advocacy is just really important. So just want to celebrate you all for that. Collaboration, I probably heard it in every single one of your presentations. Just the power of partnership between parents, taking leadership roles, and all of the work that you guys are doing as school leaders and teachers to learn from each other. This is a very unique profession that really depends so heavily on us finding the time and making the time to work together to do our best thinking and our best work. So I just wanted to celebrate that. And just connected to that, the resourcefulness that I heard from each of your sites around how you're making the time for collaboration and planning through using Alivo. I think Roosevelt uses it as well, but I heard it being used at, I think, was it Bancroft Jefferson? Bancroft, I think. But just finding the time when I know I heard, we talked about challenges today. There are barriers to doing this work and just hearing how you're doing that. The flipped classroom is amazing. I got to experience my first flipped classroom in graduate school, and it was probably one of the best classes I took. So I'm excited to see the outcomes of the flipped classroom. It's just, but again, creative thinking around how to do our best work. So I wanted to celebrate that. And just joy and culture, the multiple ways you guys are celebrating culture. I loved seeing the kids dancing, but also just orchestra, and just how important that is for our kids' lives. So just amazing work, and just wanted to celebrate a few of those highlights for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Aguilar.
Thank you. Every celebrating schools, I like to pull out keywords. Okay. Joy, community, collaboration, partnership, and student-centered. That's everything that makes up what should be a beautiful community. And I have to say, site leadership matters. Okay. A good principal, a good AP team, and a great faculty, a good site leadership team makes a difference. And so each of you principals coming out tonight presenting what you presented gives me so much hope for our students. And I really couldn't have said it better than Trustee Proctor. I mean, she summed it all up. Thank you for what you do. It's not easy. Okay. I know that as a teacher myself and, you know, being around leadership circles. And so I get it. And I appreciate the work that you do every day. And that goes for you teachers in the audience too. Kudos. Keep it up.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Sheridan.
Well, I wanted to thank everybody for their presentations. While each site is different and unique in what they do, what everyone does bring together is something that I think was mentioned by Roosevelt, was a partnership, whether it's partnerships of parent groups, partnerships with the leadership in these schools, partnerships of the students in these different peer groups that they have, or even the collaboration that's done between the different DLI sites within the campus, and partnerships with outside programs. You know, Soul Shop, you know, I was familiar with Soul Shop over at Monroe when my daughter went there, and to see Soul Shop and some of its practices and other sites, you know, it's really about this partnership, and that's what makes what you guys do unique. And I appreciate you all for your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Tate.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. This is probably one of the best meetings that we have, is celebration of schools. So what the common thread that I want to talk about is really the student voice and student leadership. And each school showed an element of developing student leadership. And I think that's so important because the student carries that with them throughout their entire life. And so they have an opportunity to be a leader and make a difference. So I believe it was the Bancroft students that talked about, you know, seeing students, maybe if they're sad and they go and play with them. And I just think that's so important because you really can make a huge difference in a child's life as they continue to live and reflect on their elementary school years and middle school years. And the last thing I want to talk about is the after-school program. My children went to Washington Elementary, and it is a small school, but it is a mighty school. And I developed some of the lasting relationships with parents to this day. And my children also still are best friends with their friends from elementary school. So we had a really positive experience, and my children, they were thriving through Washington, being a small school, but it's a community school, and we had a wonderful time there. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. I think Trustee Pearl copied my notes. There were some common threads I thought throughout the program. One was positivity. One was compassion for other students and all the folks at your school, collaboration, kindness, passion, and creativity. I mean, my goodness, a teacher loads math problems onto a iPad so that students can, you know, see it in another fashion as opposed to just being lectured to. That's amazing. And I have to give a shout out to the chorus. I think that was one of the most beautiful moments for me. When I work out and I'm on the treadmill, I watch AGT all the time, and I'm sorry, but they have nothing on these kids. They were some beautiful voices. So I was really impressed with that. So once again, thank you to everyone for your presentations.
It's great always going last because everybody's said all the wonderful things. I want to thank everybody for coming out. The parents, you guys make it work. You get your kids to school every day. You get you help support them at home and everything you do with volunteering at the school. We do have a strong community here in San Luis Unified School District that has made things easy even during hard times. I want to give a shout out to all our principals and administrators for putting these presentations together. You have a very busy job and very demanding job, and to take time out of your day or evening probably and weekends to get this going, I truly appreciate that. Of course, you know, we started this, I want to say 9 years ago, and the reason why we do this separate board meeting is so we can just solely take some time to see what our kids are learning and to see what our schools are doing on an individual basis, because to sometimes cloud that up in a business meeting, we don't get to concentrate on it and focus. So this is a way for the school board, myself, to really get our eyes and say, see what you're doing. And then also it's a time for you to brag. You know, we don't sometimes pat ourselves on the back enough and say, we are doing a good job. Our kids have a wonderful place to learn here in San Luis Unified, and I'm so proud of you. Before I end, I do want to thank critical people that make this happen, and that is Ms. Moss, could you step out here? She helps kind of get all this going, moving it on, our presentation. Miss Mayfield helps set things up here. And our tech guys back here, Mr. Long, and who else is up there? Dustin is up here. So again, we try to make this a special evening so we can all just take a moment and say, this is what's happened in public education here in San Leandro. So I appreciate you coming out. And with that, I'll hand it back to President Oshinsky.
Thank you. And last but not least, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Motion moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Everyone, please vote. Motion carries 7-1. Have a good evening, everyone.